Okay, Algebra 1, we're looking at day 3 of complex numbers. Remember that I is equal to the square root of -1, and that I squared is equal to -1. When you are multiplying complex numbers, okay, you have to remember that you're going to distribute, you're going to add your like terms, and then you're going to have to make sure and change I squared to -1. Okay? A conjugate is the same terms, but change the sign. So if you had 5 plus I, the conjugate is 5 minus I. Okay, so let's look at number 1. You're going to distribute your 6, and so 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times -5i is minus 30i. Then you're going to distribute your I. I times 4 is plus 4i, and I times -5i is minus 5i squared. Remember that minus 5i squared actually becomes plus 5. So now combine your like terms. 24 plus 5 is 29, and negative 30i plus 4i is minus 26i. This is your answer. Looking at number 2, you're going to distribute your 8. So 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times -2i is minus 16i. Then you're going to distribute your 3i. 3i times 6 is plus 18i. 3i times -2i is minus 6i squared. That I squared means that this right here becomes plus 6. 48 plus 6 is 54. And then negative 16i plus 18i is plus 2i. Once you're to the point that you're combining like terms in that last step, you will not change exponents. So you're going to distribute your 2. And so 2 times -4 is -8. 2 times 2i is plus 4i. You're going to distribute your -5i. -5i times -4 is plus 20i. And -5i times 2i is minus 10i squared. This last term becomes plus 10. So -8 plus 10 is 2. And 4i plus 20i is plus 24i. Distribute your 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times -3i is minus 9i. Distribute your 2i, your negative 2i. Negative 2i times 4 is minus 8i. And negative 2i times -3i is plus 6i squared, which the last term becomes minus 6. 12 minus 6 is 6, and -9 minus 8 is minus 17i. Going to number 5. You're going to distribute the 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 3i is plus 9i. Distribute your -2i. Negative 2i times 5 is minus 10i. Negative 2i times 3i is minus 6i squared. The last term becomes plus 6. Your 15 and 6 combine to give you 21. 9i minus 10i is minus 1i, or just minus i. Distribute your 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4i is plus 32i. Distribute your -i. Be careful with your signs here. -i times 3 is minus 3i. And -i times 4i is minus 4i squared. The last term changes to plus 4. 24 plus 4 is 28. 32i minus 3i is plus 29i. Looking at number 7, you're going to distribute your 5. So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times minus 7i is minus 35i. Distribute your 2i, and you get plus 6i minus 14i squared, which becomes plus 14. 15 plus 14 is 29. Minus 35i plus 6i is going to be minus 29i. Last one, 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times negative 2i is minus 12i. Negative 5i times 3 is minus 15i. And negative 5i times negative 2i is plus 10i squared. The plus 10i squared becomes minus 10. 18 minus 10 is 8. And then negative 12i minus 15i is minus 27i. Okay, that is the end of your notes. You're ready to do your assignment. Don't forget that if you owe me any work, you need to really be working hard to get that finished because you're running out of time.